Hey up everybody and welcome back to the Auto Cycling YouTube channel, where today we're going to be talking about the Velogames Tour of Oman. I have quite literally been waiting for the Muscat Classic to finish because I didn't want to make a video without seeing the results of that one-day race first, because obviously people might have crashed or done badly, and I wanted to have that information before I kind of formulate my final opinions. So Adam Yates is 28 credits. George is obviously quite liking, giving us all a challenge with these high rider prices. We've seen it with Pedersen, we've seen it with Vlasov, and now Adam Yates. With the 4 uphill finishes that we're going to have, I'd say that Yates is a good shout. I think that he could, if he wins the overall and wins 2 stages, which I don't think is out of the question, I think he could get somewhere near 800 points, which as a 28 credit rider in a 5-stage race is really good. So I'd say that Yates is a good shout, very safe. He did finish like 15 seconds down today in the Muscat Classic, but I think that's fine because his teammate won and he was probably just sitting up and didn't want to be involved in a crash. So I think that's all pretty fair. But you could say, oh, he's 15 seconds down, maybe he just couldn't hack it. And, that's a fair opinion to take as well. So make your choices based on that. Ulissi, probably not. He was very good in this race last year, but I think that Yates and Finn Fisher-Black are probably better options for UAE. We'll get on to Finn very quickly. Van Zevenont was good in this race last year. He hasn't been fantastic so far this year. He is 20 credits, so him or Ulissi, I'd say that Van Zevenont is the better of the two, but whether he's actually better than like a Barguil or Finn Fisher-Black, I don't really know. So I'm erring on the side of caution with Van Zevenont. I don't think he'll win, but he might certainly be a podium contender. Barguil did really good today, actually, in the Muscat Classic. I think he came 6th place, something like that. So obviously, that's pretty good, actually, especially when you consider that DSM, they've got Jakobsen here, but Barguil will be the sole guy for a lot of the uphill finishes. And given that he was pretty fast in the sprint today, he'll do also quite well on that Yiti Hills stage, which I think is like stage 3, I want to say. So I think that Barguil is actually quite good. I was very cautious about him yesterday, but seeing the result from today, I'm more confident. Jesus Herrada, very good in this race last year. He came top 10 GC, won a stage. I don't see any reason to not pick him. Rodriguez, maybe not. I don't know. He's another one who will finish somewhere probably between like 5th to 10th. And therefore he's a fine pick. There's no reason to really not go with him. I think that he finished in the top 10 no, he didn't finish in the top 10, but I think he finished in this front group. He did. He finished 29th in the group, so yeah, he's fine. Rota's fine as well. I'd say that Rodriguez is the better out-and-out climber. Rota probably a bit more of a puncher, so maybe he'll struggle on the bigger climbs. Bora have a few riders here, so they could definitely do well in Team GC. So some of their 4 credit riders might be good. Adria, Buchmann, they've also got Zvihov, all 12 credits. Honestly, I think you could pick either of them. I think that Zvihov was good in the Tour Down Under. I do think he could probably finish somewhere like 8th to 10th. Buchmann wasn't good in this race last year. I'm just not sure if it's particularly suited to him. I just think that he might need longer climbs, really. And Adria's just more of a puncher, so I'd say that Zvihov's probably the safest of them. But arguably the best 12 credit rider is Finn Fisher-Black. Arguably, quite annoyingly, he won today, which sort of revealed to a lot of people that he's in good form. Obviously, that was also revealed at the Alula Tour, but I had him on. I was going to be recommending him to you guys. But obviously, I think he's going to be quite highly selected now because he's shown just how good his climbing legs are right now. So I think that Finn will be on a lot of people's teams. I think that he's really good value at 12. So I'd really recommend you put him on. Jakobsen crashed today and DNF'd, so I'd probably stay away from that. And also, he's got like 1 stage he'll do well in, so don't go near Jakobsen. Mienkes is fine, another sort of maybe top 10 candidate. Bassato, Coquard, Caleb Ewan, Luke Lamperty, all these 10 credit sort of sprinter guys. I think they're all fine. I'd say that Coquard is my favourite of them because he's climbing so well. I'd say that Lamperty is a little bit faster in a pure sprint than Coquard, but whether he'll make that Yiti Hills stage is kind of the big question. I'd say that Coquard's a safer shout to be making that. Bassato's also very much like Coquard, but probably not quite as fast, which is why I think that Coquard is my favourite from these 10 credit riders. I'd say that Sharmig as well is quite tempting. I think he finished top 15 of the Muscat Classic, and Astana. Schelling wasn't in that front group today, so clearly Sharmig is going to be the man. And I think at 10 credits, it's pretty low risk. You know, you could go Cockard and try get 2 stages out of him and, you know, whatever. But Sharmig might be contending, you know, a top 10 GC, plus also contesting like 3 or 4 stages. So I like Sharmig. I think that he's pretty solid too. The other 10 credit riders like your Masnaders, Tobias Lund Andersen, Schelling, Tamanner, blah, blah, blah. Probably not. Just the ones which I've mentioned are the ones which I like. Berkmo's was good in Etoile de Bessèges. I'm not sure if he'll be able to repeat that here. I just think that the terrain is a little bit too tough for him, personally. And also, he didn't do great in the race today, the Muscat Classic. Depreto's pretty interesting, considering that he's like the best climber, I suppose, for Jake Walula, so he could be top 20 GC, and he's pretty snappy as well, so in a finish. So I think that he'll probably make that Yeti Hill stage and be like a top 10, and then maybe he does alright in GC. So Depreto's pretty good. I'm a big fan of that. Jan Hurt, of course, has won this race in the past, and I think he finished on the same time as Yates today, so I think that that's not a bad shout, to be honest with you. Christoph, of course, for the 1 sprint. Probably not a great shout. Cool set, I do like. 19-year-old, 20-year-old climber for UnoX. He was in the front group of a Muscat Classic. 8 credits. I definitely think this guy is a bit underrated, and I think that he could be one of the best 8 credit riders, personally. Gleb, maybe, as a sprinter. Frank Vandenbroek is kind of a puncher for DSM, so him and Barguil will be leading up their GC ambitions. 6 credit riders. Honestly, it's a little bit light on the ground. I'd say that an Intermarché sprinter could be Arts or Deputa. I'm not sure which one, but one of those will likely be sprinting. There's also plenty of Soudal Quickstep guys to be going at, including Antoine Houby, who's probably my favourite. There's also Paul Magnier, who won some race earlier in the year, and then Hill Helders as well. But I'd say that likely they'll be working for Lamperty, so it's probably not the greatest idea to be picking these guys. And yeah, the other 6 credits just aren't actually that great. I think the 4 credits actually provide a bit more incentive. We've got this UAE Team Emirates guy who will just be getting assist points, so by all means go with him. As I mentioned, Bora will likely do quite well in Team GC because they've got Adlia, Zvihoff and Buchmann. So you've got Cesar Benedetti in here, but there's also Luis Joe Lurs and Emil Herzog. Herzog was the one who broke away in the Muscat Classic but got caught on the final climb. So arguably, I'd say that he's the most likely for me to pick based on that alone. So he's climbing pretty well, is basically what I'm taking. So maybe he finishes top 30 GC and gets you some additional points there, as well as the assists coming in from the Bora Team GC. There's William Bloom Levy, who finished top. When did he finish today? He finished 7th today, so that's quite a good shout. You know, there's also cool set. There's Christoph and stuff, but on that Yeti Hill stage, maybe he might get you something. Amaury Capio, probably the safest one, considering that he made the finish today and he was 3rd. There's going to be a flat sprint, the Yeti Hill stage. That's 2 stages he'll probably compete in. And for a 4 credit rider, that's really good. So I'll say that Capio is the safest one and probably has the most upside. Bit of a talk around Alexis Fowler-Prost. He was dropped today, like a minute down. So I'm not sure. They've also, like I said, they've got Bassato here. They've got Mienkes here as well. They've got Rota here. I'm just not sure where this guy's fitting in. I think he's more of a domestique. So I would say that go with your Capios, your Levies, your Boras, your assist points probably before him. And other than that, I'd say that's about it. Oh no, Henry van den Biele did finish 8th place in this race in 2022. So he could be another one. They do have Harm van Oka here as well. But Henry van den Biele could be a top 20 GC sort of candidate. This is the team that I have at the moment. Very focused on, well, it's a split team. We've got Yates, Rota, Finn Fisher-Black, Harada, Coolset and Sharmig as our kind of main GC prospects. And then we've got the 4 credit riders. I don't know why I don't have Capio in here at the moment, but we'll just put him in now. So a team like that I'm really liking. You could also not go with Rota. You could put those up to Van Zevenont or Barguil and then take these off of, I don't know, Harada or whoever you see fit to put on somebody else. I don't know. But I'd say that, yeah, go with Yates and Finfisher Black. And other than that, it's fairly free game. Probably Cool Set as well is quite a good choice for you to be going with. So, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, thank you all for watching. And, of course, put your teams in the comments section down below. I'll try and get back to them. I am going on holiday in literally 2.5 hours. So I will be responding to them on my phone. So I might not be on the Aldo account. I might be on my own personal account responding. But, yes, put your teams in the comments section down below. And all that is left to say is to stay safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video, which might not be Ruta del Sol or the Volta Algarve because I will still be away on holiday. But we'll wait and see. I'll let you know. Salut.